Okay, so this is Activity 3, Module 5, Unit 2, Activity 3. And I am talking about the differentiation in the second grade classroom that I went and observed for about an hour this week. And I saw the class at the very beginning of the day, so they were just coming in from their for the start of the morning. They got settled, put backpacks away and all of that, and then she had them pick up a warm up. There was in the front of the classroom there was a space that there was always a warm up there. I could tell. The kids knew exactly what to do. They got started right away, and they were working through it at their own pace. Some of them took a lot longer, and she was gently reminding students and really cheerful throughout. A few students had to be reminded, and I noticed that a few students didn't do the warm up at all. They just couldn't be bothered. But then after enough time that most of the kids were able to get through that, they transitioned into a reading lesson. And at that point, a resource teacher came into the room and pulled out about 5 of the students, and I think there were actually 2 resource teachers who came in to help out, and they pulled it out, and I didn't know what was going on necessarily. I could see that they were being pulled out, but I don't exactly know for what. But so the resource teacher took with her the reading lesson that they were going to be doing as a whole class. So then the teacher was left with about maybe 3/4 of the class, and she explained the big project. They were going to do read a story, and then talk to a neighbor about the questions at the back of the story. And so the whole class that was remaining heard those instructions, and then after explaining all of that, she pointed out, you and you meet me at the small table, small group, and so I moved over and sat and watched the small group, and she was walking them through. Well, first of all, the assignment was going to be about reader's purpose, and so she activated their prior knowledge of this small group, which you could kind of already tell was a more remedial group. Their readiness levels were not up to that of the rest of the class. So she pulled them aside, or she had them in their small group, and she activates their prior knowledge. Do you all remember what the word purpose means? And she walks them through that, setting them up to be able to do this worksheet. And then she asks only what is needed of them. It's a short story, but she breaks it up. So you just read this paragraph, and you just read that paragraph. So the kids don't have that much to do, and she really walks them through the questions afterwards and priming, what do you think? And she sets up her students for success in that small group to succeed by priming them with the information that they need. In the meantime, the rest of the class, the bigger part of the class, is going through and reading their things, and by the time she's done walking this small group through the answers, she releases them, and it seems like most of the other kids have finished, but she pulls aside a second small group, and these are more advanced kids. They're probably at grade level, these kids, and she the remedial group, they go and they start the original project, and the advanced kids, or the kids who are left behind, who are already done with a group project, she, I think, told them to she had other activities that they knew what to do. Go do think work, and they knew what think work was, and so they got started on that. So the second group, she did the same thing. She activated their prior knowledge. She primed them. She didn't have to hold their hand nearly as much walking them through this, which I could see, and the kids saw it too. One kid even mentioned it. He was like, oh, we were all in this group before, for some other thing that I didn't know, but I knew what he was talking about. He recognized that they were a higher achieving group than the last group. And the teacher kind of looks at him and is quiet and is well, but our groups change all the time, and that's not important. And our groups, she tried to minimize the importance of that, his comment. But yeah, so they moved. That second small group moved much more quickly and did a lot more of the work independently, because she didn't need I don't know, she didn't need to walk them through. And then so they finish the assignment and releases them, and then the third group comes, and they're the students who are achieving above grade level. And so instead of challenging them in any particular way, she just lets them, they just have a much easier time with the assignment, and they go through it in like maybe a quarter of the time that it took the first group, and you can tell that they get it. None of them seemed bored. They seemed engaged with it. It just took less time for them. So it seemed to work. And in the meantime, the first group that was not at grade level, the readiest, not quite at grade level, they were still like struggling to do the independent work, and me not having to focus on the group at hand, I was able to watch them and see that they were just like not doing it. And she tried. She called across the room like, "Oh, so and so, are you working on that?" And, "Oh yeah." "Oh, so and so, have you done problem 2 yet?" And, "Oh, not yet." "Okay, well, get it done." And I think her attitude was great. She was so positive, and I could, it was pretty easy for me to see the differentiation happening. But I could also see where it let some of those kids really slide, the kids who didn't do the warm-up, different kids who weren't doing the individual work. So I don't really know how you handle that. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to talk through it with her, but yeah. Anyway, it was great. It was great to